Welcome to the doctor's office. My secretary, Hail Hydra, is here to escort you to the doctor's office where I will diagnose what is wrong with you. Or wrong with the
Maybe
I,
you should work on these catchphrases before recording
you know
next
what?
time.
They're improvisational. They love a good improv show. They like that with the Everything Show back in the day. But anyway,
And
welcome.
how successful.
Welcome to our new and lovely podcast on and off topic. I'm Dr. Road, and this here's my secretary, Top Hail Hydra, and
I'm
we,
not your secretary.
okay, well, details to follow, are here to talk about a lot of a lot of not as big topics. It's more a collection of small but mighty ideas. Some news from the racing world, NFL predictions, the Muppet Show, even, and Iron
And
Lung.
Iron Lung.
Yes, Iron Lung. You're very excited about it. But anyway,
Yes, I am.
let's get started today with Austin and the news roundup of F1.
Well, so we've actually had a lot in the entire scheme of motorsports. So I've got a couple different points for each one that I keep an eye on. We've got F1 right now. Williams hit the track at Silverstone, finally revealing their car and putting it on a track after being late. Lewis Hamilton says he's currently confident in the Ferrari's car.
Ah,
So this is going to be an interesting season for Ferrari. And then McLaren has some issues right now. Lando Norris, current world champion, is saying the McLaren car feels like an F2 car. It's reminding him of when he was driving F2, which is very concerning
that's a weird drop
for
off. Like to just have a,
McLaren.
but that was like that was like the car last year, the fastest car, right?
It was. It was. And so the fact that he's going from a rocket ship to an F2 car in F1 is very concerning.
So is it because
I
of the
mean,
new
it's going to be
rules?
great for us, but
Yeah, is it because of the new regulations that made people change the cars? That is that why
none,
it's
none of
such
the
a
other
significant drop?
drivers have said anything about
Well, yes, but
only
do you
Lando
think that
Norris.
McLaren might be struggling to adapt more than the other ones?
It's likely.
Right, because I think that these are technically smaller than the cars
Yeah.
from last season, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that I think Ferrari has historically always done really well at the beginning of the new regulations, but they fall off at the end. McLaren's just kind of I haven't really checked up with the history of McLaren. They've done really well in the past. Lewis Hamilton's won multiple championships for them, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Speaking of F2, we have the F2 calendar was released, and I'm very, very interested in watching Colton Herrera, who is already essentially lined up to be Cadillac's F1 driver next year once he gets the points on his super license to qualify for F1. He is a Indy World Champions or Indy champion. They're not world champion. They don't race around the world. It's American, but still, he's going to be racing along with a bunch of other new rookie F2 drivers. In WEC, Ford has already released their 2027 hypercar, which is going to be very interesting. Uh, the Iron Dames all-female team will not be on the 2026 LMGT3 grid, so we are going to be missing them.
The who?
Uh, BMW has some new aero package stuff I saw for their hybrid V8 coming up later. And then yeah, so WEC has already started off with their 24-hour Daytona, which was a bit of a disappointment to say the least. It was more of a 16 hours and then 8 hours under yellow flag.
You just wish it
So that
was
was
you.
unfortunate. It would be fun. Let's see. Our Formula E, the new Gen 4 cars are actually looking I wish they would have engines, but actually Formula E is actually looking pretty promising this year. I might actually have to like
Electric
dedicate some time
vehicles
to it.
being good? Ha! We
This
don't
I'm
endorse
actually
that
kind of
here.
curious about this. And then we got NASCAR just started up with their first race at Daytona,
I thought that wasn't until
and
February 14th, or maybe that's Valentine's Day. Not that
or
I would know what Valentine's Day is like. Thank you.
neither would I. Or at least a practice race came out, and it was pretty promising. I believe there was a crash
Ooh, I
already,
like
but
crashes.
I could be wrong. I think, uh, but there's tension between Bubba Wallace and Carson Hookaver. Um, yep, they did have a little bit of a crash or an incident. So yeah, that is essentially a good wrap up of the motorsports this week.
Very, very, very good to know. Now, on to what everyone's really thinking about football. Everyone loves football. So, as we all know, last week the Patriots beat the Broncos in a not particularly thrilling game, and the Seahawks beat the Rams in one of the best playoff games this year. So, now we have the unique privilege of getting to look at a Super Bowl where we are very certain who's going to win. Guys, I'm taking the Seahawks. Don't overthink this. If you are a sports betting person, put money on them. Put money on them scoring. Put money on Kenneth Walker running. Sam Darnold throwing. JSN being JSN. This game is not going to be close. If that's my belief. See, we got the Super Bowl representation. I know what it's like to have teams in the Super Bowl. All right, because we've seen it happen. And
And your
don't
team happens to be the most hated Super Bowl finishers in like history.
Okay, no, we're the most hated since the New England Patriots. But anyway, all this to say, the Patriots have been beating teams with their defense. And they say defense wins championships, so that's good. But defense alone should not be expected to win everything. You have to have a somewhat functional offense. And sometimes Drake May looked good, so at some points in that Houston Texans game in the playoffs, and sometimes he looked like he did in the Chargers game, and half the time during the Broncos game. And yes, I understand the Broncos game for the second half was largely weighed down by weather, so if you tried to throw, you were pretty much guaranteeing an incompletion of some sort. However, I don't believe that Drake May has proven himself ready for the playoffs enough for me to have more confidence in him than Sam Darnold, who has been, by all accounts, a top 10 quarterback this year into the playoffs. And so just put the money on him. If I was a sports bettor, which I'm starting to think I should have been this year, then yeah, I would put the money there. So that's your prediction for the Super Bowl. Also, if you don't like the halftime show, I mean, I wouldn't get too worked up about it personally because in the end, these halftime shows aren't really for us. They should be for us, the fans. However, it's more of a virtue signaling thing at this point.
It's a publicity
It's a
stunt.
publicity stunt, exactly. I think the last truly indisputably great halftime show was Dr. Dre's halftime show during Super Bowl 56. I think it was. It was him. He had Snoop Dogg and Eminem, and it was just beautiful. It was an amazing show. Now Usher's, I also enjoyed Usher's show, and I do like Ludacris. So like that was a good show. I mean, it was good. I didn't hate it, but you're not going to top the 56 show at the rate the NFL's going because Kendrick Lamar's was just boring. It wasn't even bad. It was just boring. And then The Weekend. I don't know. I don't remember it enough, and I don't know. I don't love his music all that much. But yeah, so Bad Bunny, regardless of his talent, because I'm sure he is a good singer, and whatever with his specific style of music, I just would argue that maybe it's not the most fitting with the NFL because you have a lot of fans who are mostly just old guys who enjoy, sort of the more classic stuff. I think, like your classic rock or you get your modern guys. A lot of these players in the NFL, they're probably more in on the rap scene. So that's just my thoughts. And if Bad Bunny does wear a dress, then yeah, your halftime show ratings are probably going to go they're going to drop. It's just my 2 cents. But yeah. Anyway, the NFL honors happened tonight. We're recording it afterwards. It's sort of late, but that's never stopped us before, isn't that right? So I just got
I mean, this is the latest we've recorded, so
yeah, but we're usually not going to
we're
sleep after the
typically.
recordings anyway. So
I mean, we're uploading and editing this at this time,
we
so
are uploading and editing.
yes,
Me, thank you. They're just there
we.
racing. Anyway, uh, it was an award show. It happened. I will say that it wasn't awful. All of the humorous parts. There were a lot of really good parts and a lot of bad parts. You must understand that these are NFL people. They're not actors. And some of the people that the NFL brings in, like Tiana Taylor, or there's this other gal who was naming Coach of the Year. I didn't love those. And it's not just because they were both the only two like black women there announcing awards. It is just because I don't like one battle after another for Tiana Taylor's case, and the other woman I just thought she was sort of obnoxious. But that's sort of the thing. The NFL awards and the Oscar awards, just a lot of award shows in general, they can be a little obnoxious and overconfident in themselves. Like Jelly Roll and Snoop Dogg was great last year, but this year, I mean, you just sort of accept these filler parts where they're trying to make people laugh because you have to have filler in the show. Otherwise, it's just award, 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 and then the show wouldn't be 2 hours long. However, shout out to Bob Odenkirk as the Pope. Any of you who watch Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad will know that Bob Odenkirk is an acting legend and he deserves to have respect on his name. And I can never get enough of Bob Odenkirk.
I haven't seen it, but I want to.
Have
It
you ever
actually
watched Nobody?
no.
Yeah,
But I've seen all the YouTube clips because YouTube Shorts was plagued with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, I mean it's amazing. You gotta go. We'll have to talk about it later at some point. But anyway, tonight we're gonna talk about how Revan should have also put money on the NFL awards, because why on earth am I not making money for that? I could use some money. All right, I'm not exactly rolling in the dough. I had to buy a new
He's
brake
not
light
wrong.
today for like $12. $12 for a
Oh
brake light.
wow, so
I
expensive.
know. But anyway, let's focus on what we have today, the winners of the awards. Assistant Coach of the Year, that's the only award I guessed incorrectly. Josh McDaniels won instead of Vance Joseph. Now, looking back, I probably should have chosen Clint Kubiak. Like, if it was me last week, I'm sure that's what I would have chosen, and I still would have been wrong. So I'm not really too beat up about it either way. But the man's going to his 10th Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, so I agree. It's well deserved. Then you have Mike Vrabel as your Coach of the Year. I'm pretty sure I did say, I think I said Mike Vrabel for Coach of the Year, right? I don't know. Go back and watch the other video and fact check me on that one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. All right. And then comeback player of the year, Christian McCaffrey. That was a no-brainer. This was obviously going to be him for all of the weird, exotic, international overseas surgeries he had, and then to come back and be a great player as a receiver and a running back. This was a no-brainer. Then you have offensive rookie of the year, Ted McMillan. Like I said, it's just money. It's money. I could have made so much money, guys. Carson Schlesinger did win defensive rookie of the year. This is the one that I thought, if I'm going to be wrong, it's probably going to be this one or offensive player of the year, because Nick Emanwari was a very good rookie safety. However, Schlesinger was just also really good for what he did. He was a linebacker, but he was a lot more versatile than just that and could do a lot of things across the field. So I'm not surprised he did that. Plus, look at that hair. You cannot tell me that those wonderful
Not better
gold,
than mine.
it's arguably much better than yours.
No, no. Nothing can beat my hair.
Sure.
Like a majestic lion's mane.
Anyway,
The
protector
lion
of the
does not
year.
concern
I
itself with
was so
football.
correct. I was right on protector of the year, and I didn't think I was gonna be. Joe Tooney, my guy, making a great case for him to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, I would have also been fine being wrong and having Creed Humphrey win this award, but in the end, that's all right, because this is an award well deserved. Joe Tooney's a great guy, and I hope that he makes it into the Hall of Fame one of these days, which I think he will, especially since he won the very first Protector of the Year award. Next up, Offensive Player of the Year, which I went back and checked my original video because I had no idea who I chose because I was so indecisive about it. What I said was, I feel like JSN is, has the highest probability to win, but I also think CMC and Puka Nakua had, good arguments to be made for them to win. So I'm going to count this as me being right, although I would not have put money on this because I was very indecisive about it. But looking at it now, I'm like, look at this guy. He led the league in receiving yards. He was everywhere. He was a menace. There was no way he wasn't going to win. But oh, you didn't watch the award show, Austin. But
I didn't know.
these guys are not good at saying names. Like when they announced Mike Vrabel, the lady said Mike Verbal. Apparently
That's
she
funny.
can't pronounce anything. But it was worse when they announced Smith and Jigba's name. Because if you've never seen it before, it can be a little hard. So the guy, he says Jackson Smith Nigaba. Is that how you say it? And I was just like, what?
That's
And the guy was black, so it makes it
okay.
okay. But like, geez, my guy, like, can
I was
we
hoping
not
that
do
could be
like a
canceled.
pronunciation guide? Like, if you don't want to give away who wins, just have them learn to pronounce all the players' names. It's not too hard. Jigba, like, come on, guys, put some respect on his name, or just say JSN, which is his nickname anyway. But I digress. Defensive Player of the Year, like I said, Myles Garrett. This one was a no-brainer. He wore a really weird cowboy hat. I mean, I guess it's not weird, but like, I don't know. I don't get the Western aesthetic. However, now he is a
You're
two-time defensive.
literally friends with Daniel.
Okay, Daniel is different. He wears a weird hat. It's not. He has like a weird little hat. Sometimes he has that rain protector. It looks hilarious. I'll have to show you some point. Anyway, now Myles Garrett has won Defensive Player for 2 years. The first one was in 20 for the 2023 season. This one for the 2025 season. He probably should have won last year as well, which would have been 3 times in a row, and pretty much unheard of for defensive players. But I don't know. Pat Surtain beat him last year for some reason. Anyway, for your MVP, Matthew Stafford. That fraud Drake May did not win. In all honesty, during the regular season, I believed that Drake May was a really good quarterback, and there was a case for him to be MVP. However, having watched the playoffs, I do think it's much more clear why Stafford should have been the MVP instead of Drake May. But winning it at 37 years old, actually, he might have just turned 38. I don't remember. But as old as he is, and for as long as he had to play for the Detroit Lions, for him to have here at the back end of his career so much success, a Super Bowl win, a good season with the Rams this year, an MVP award, and then hopefully maybe a Super Bowl win in the future. We'll see. It's just like good things do sometimes come to those who wait. It might not work out to start, but everything can always get better. 17 years in the league, and Stafford finally joins great names like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and the DEI MVP Josh Allen. You know what's funny? When a
Mm,
white guy won MVP in last year with Josh Allen, they called it a DEI MVP.
that's funny.
Well, I guess the NFL is fighting racism by flipping it on its head. But anyway, that was your MVP. Good choice, I believe. Then for your Walter Payton Man of the Year award, I didn't predict this one because I'm pretty sure it's voted by like all the people, just all the people in the world who vote for it, and it's far more subjective and you can't measure it as well. But Bobby Wagner did win. It is possibly more coveted than the MVP award. I mean, this is just like the award for best character on and off the field, exemplifying the quote unquote values of the NFL. I don't know if it's the values of the NFL as much as it's just, values of good moral character. And so good for Bobby Wagner. In football terms, he's very old, so he needs all the awards he can get. On a side note, the Hall of Fame inductees were announced tonight, and Eli Manning didn't get in. Ah, 2 years in a row now. I think that's funny. But your Hall of Fame inductees were Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Adam Vinatieri, Roger Craig, and Luke Kuechly. I think it's Keechley. But yeah, Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald. This is their.
Gucci? Uh,
I don't know. The two guys, Drew Brees and Fitzgerald. It was their first year of eligibility, and if they didn't get in first year, no one could. Drew Brees is pretty much statistically the second best quarterback of all time, and Larry Fitzgerald statistically is probably like number two, number three. Talent wise, you could probably argue that there are people better than him, but I would not argue with you if you said he was the second best receiver to ever do it. because this guy was great even when he had bad quarterbacks for a lot of his career until he got like what is it, Carson Palmer and Kurt Warner, I think it was, and he never got a Super Bowl ring, which is sad. So at least he got his first ballot Hall of Famer. Adam Vinatieri, he was the kicker for the Patriots for a couple of seasons, won 4 Super Bowls with them, and actually has scored the most points of any player in the league because kickers kick so many points. So that's really weird to think that the kickers score more points than anyone else, but good for him for being the highest scoring player in all of football. Of course he won. And then these other two guys, I don't know a lot about them, but Roger Craig was very emotional when he won. So even though I don't know a lot about you, I feel happy that you won because you seemed to appreciate it a lot. So, good for you. Anyway, that's all for your sports section. Now we move on to two very important subjects: Iron Lung and Muppets. Which one should we talk about first?
I don't care. Whichever one you think should go first.
Let's start with Iron Lung. Save the best for last. Well, we're gonna right. For those of
Hang
you who
on.
don't know, this David guy also had a cameo in the movie, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zemansky. David Zemansky had made the game. Markiplier had played it a couple years back. Fell in love with it. It's a very slow game, but it's like the tension continues to build up.
All right, and let's get some
And
context for those who don't know who this Markiplier is, because I didn't even know this guy existed or the movie until a lot of publicity
if
came out.
you are living under a rock and don't
Okay,
know who Markiplier is,
gee, thanks.
yes. His name is Mark Fishback, and he is a famous YouTuber who has been doing it for, I believe, 15 years now,
He's
maybe
always been a beast.
closer to 20. And he has close to 40 million subscribers. His most famous YouTube series would be his Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where he became big. Has done a lot of other series, and he's continued to just build. And he's an incredible man, absolutely humble. All the money he made from Iron Lung, for example, has gone to uh, the actors, the people who actually put the movie together, and
Was he?
charity.
But he was the
He's not
actor.
profiting from this movie.
But he
He was
was
the
the
main
actor
actor.
in the movie.
He was the main actor, but he wasn't the only one. But
Well,
he's
no,
not
but
profiting from this movie.
I mean, he had $3 million in his pocket to make the movie, so I don't think money was really a concern.
And in the opening weekend, it made 3.5 million. It was the
Oh, it made
highest
more than
grossing
that.
film of the weekend it released. And then, of course, yeah, I think it's made close to 4 or 5 million at this point.
No, no, it's made 21 at least.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this movie has
Uh,
not been successful by, your Hollywood standards, but when you have the big budgets and the big marketing, you have to have a bigger
oh,
expected
yeah, there it
return on
is.
investment. But Iron Lung only had $3 million put
Yeah,
into it as the budget.
28 million
Exactly. And Markiplier or whatever, he
or
advertised it
21.7,
himself.
sorry.
And he
Mark had
advertised,
written it, he
yeah,
produced it, he
directed it.
funded it, and he starred in it.
Yeah, he did quite a lot. And he did the marketing with his own channel, so he didn't have to pay for marketing either. So $3
And he
million.
also
dollars.
he produced himself. He didn't go to a company for it. He didn't go to
Exactly. That's what
Hollywood
I'm
or
saying. That
Lionsgate
that
or
three
anything. Like,
million,
yeah.
that's all that went into that movie. And if you're at 28 now, that's 7 times its budget. I mean, he's
Yeah.
making bank off of this movie. And it might not seem like a lot by Hollywood standards because 100 million is a cheaply made movie in Hollywood. But just think about what you would do with $28 million. I'm sure that would be monumental by our petty
And
poor standards. You know, it's just
he still
it's
earned enough
very.
to be on the top charts, but his movie was taken down like very soon after it came
Mhm.
out. The
I mean,
weekend it
I
came out,
personally,
actually.
yeah, I personally don't feel the need to go see it just based on my own personal taste. But
You should. You need to. I'm sorry. You need to.
look,
It
I
was
want
good.
to see it succeed because in the end, if this is the sort of movie that you might watch, go see it because it's an important movie for saying, hey, Hollywood doesn't have all the answers. Hollywood's not the only people who can make successful movies. We people, we the people, have the right and the ability to make successful film projects. And if we can do that, then we don't need the Hollywood schmuck and crap and garbage that they keep throwing our way. You know,
I'm like,
I feel
don't get me wrong.
this movie's a
The act
statement.
the acting wasn't the greatest we've ever seen in a movie. Obviously, it's not going to be. Mark hasn't really done much acting outside of his own YouTube series, which if you haven't, you need to go watch all of them. So, Date with Markiplier, Who Killed Markiplier, Heist with Markiplier, In Space with Markiplier, and In Space with Markiplier 2. Go watch those. Those are incredible.
You know what's funny? If he had hired like a big name actor, that movie's budget probably would have gone up by like five
Three
times
times. Yeah. But
just to pay
no,
for
it
like one
was
big name actor because these actors cost a lot of money.
before the movie taking being based off a slow game, the pacing was really good. There was never a moment I thought that it was taking too long to finish a scene or finish something.
I was told the second act
And
was a little slow, but the third act made up.
and the continuous buildup of tension, where you're watching Simon, the character, start to lose it as he's losing oxygen and losing hope for returning back home, and uh, the fish that's coming for him. I really liked the addition to the fish being able to like speak or him hallucinating it or something. It was really
Wait,
interesting,
whoa, are we giving
and
spoilers now?
also just the amount of lore that was added to this movie from the games, but the quiet rapture and why Simon's there in the first place and everything, really good. Just overall, it was an incredible movie. I loved it. I might honestly go watch it in theaters again just because of how good it was.
Fair, makes up
And
for me not seeing
I've
it.
never done that, but no, it was
Oh,
good. It was good.
wow. You didn't go to No Way Home twice?
No,
No, I did. I went to Greece twice because there was a high school that was doing it last week and it was really good, so I saw that twice.
I'm very much typically a one and done person. This is not. This movie's that good.
That is your not one and done movie.
Yes.
We literally have the Odyssey coming out this year.
The Odyssey, I've read it. It's okay.
It's Christopher Nolan's Odyssey with Matt Damon. I think that this
Well,
might require more than one viewing and being shot entirely. And you know what? We'll talk about that later. We can do like a 10 best looking movies for 2026 at some point. Anyway, so in your completely unbiased, I'm sure, opinion, what would you rate Iron Lung?
I would give it a 8.3 out of 10.
Really, 8.3? We're going to be that specific?
So my one thing is there were a couple things in the script that I'm like I still have a couple questions as to why certain things were said or certain things weren't said. And then
Does the movie leave the opportunity for a
the
sequel?
acting again wasn't no.
Uh, okay, but like,
Simon's dead. Simon's dead.
don't
There,
spoil everything in case the people haven't seen it.
if you haven't seen it, go watch him play through the actual game.
Well, now they don't need to. You've already told them everything that's happened.
Well, you should already know this.
Well, some of us haven't seen it.
Well, womp womp. Sucks to
Tell you what,
suck.
everyone, if you want this movie to have the chance to appear on my best movies of 2026 rankings next year, tell me to go watch it because otherwise I might just not watch it.
Go watch it.
Okay,
Go
you
watch
don't
it.
count.
Go
You
watch it.
I know
Go
that you
watch it.
comment on my
Go
videos.
watch
You
it.
do it a lot. You're not gonna get me to go do it just because you want me to. Okay, your comments
Go
do not count.
watch it.
I don't care how many shadow accounts you have. I'm not gonna listen to you.
Go watch it.
Okay, I will consider it. Moving on. Now it's time to talk about the real meat and potatoes. It's the Muppet Show with our very special guest, Dr. Road in Austin. Yeah. But in all seriousness, the Muppets are back. At least for one episode, depending on the success of this Disney Plus special. Basically, y'all, the Muppets have been a group that I was fine with. I didn't have any problems with for a while. And then a year or two ago, it just, I don't know, it all just clicked. And I'm like, Yes, the Muppets are just like amazing. They're practically on the same level as real celebrities. Austin, you are not a celebrity at all. How do you feel being, less important than these puppets?
Really?
Well, I'm not a celebrity either. Okay,
No.
fine. Okay, are you have did you ever have any level
I
of fondness toward the Muppets?
honestly never really cared.
Nope. Really? Like nothing? Like I get not caring, but like did you ever like enjoy them to any extent?
Like they were alright, but like it wasn't something I'd like actively watch and say, I want to go watch the Muppets. No. Nah.
Yeah, they're far too
They're
heavy
it's
for
pretty
you, aren't
mid.
they?
It's
How
pretty mid.
dare you? My Muppets are brilliant. All right.
Iron
And the
Lung's
Muppet
better.
Christmas Carol to this day will be remembered as the greatest Christmas Carol adaptation to ever exist. And
We'll see.
now, the Muppets, with their complicated history, they started out with the Muppet Show, then they transitioned to movies for a few years, then they stopped, then they started again with the movies, and then they tried to transition back into television, then into Disney Plus television slash specials. And you know how Disney Plus just likes to ruin everything, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. You were raised being told that Disney was the devil, so
No. It wasn't Disney's The Devil until 2020.
well, what were you told before 2020?
That it was okay. But after
Well,
2020 they started going stupid. Which I mean, honestly, they kind of did. Because they ruined every show.
yeah. Disney's decline has been crazy. It feels like that they haven't made anything good since Encanto, but and that's not counting the Pixar projects.
Yeah.
But you would like to see them find some way to succeed, but I'm not holding out my hope. They've done too many things to annoy me. So now we must go forth and destroy them
Let's
with
do it.
iron lung.
Bring back the Crusades.
But anyway, Disney actually didn't mess up with the Muppet Show because while it was not a perfect production, there was a lot of good to go with it. For starters, it wasn't overly nostalgic. It wasn't about getting the gang back together. Oh, we finally get to do another show. And there was some of that energy, of course, because apparently it's been, what is it, the 10, 12 years since the last movie itself. I mean, they've been active on Disney Plus, but still. It was such a nice return to form. Like most people like you and me never grew up watching the Muppet Show, but as someone who went back and watched it on Disney Plus, I was like, "That's my Muppet Show, baby! It's them. They're doing the theme song, and they're doing the segments, and their guest star is Sabrina Carpenter." Okay, I'm sure you're not a big fan of
Really?
Sabrina Carpenter either. No,
I'm not a
not a
fan
big.
of her, but I mean, I've heard some of her music. It's not bad per se, but it's not good.
Oh, he likes the Sabrina Carpenter music. Everyone get a load of this guy.
You know that is not what I said.
Oh, yes, but I can spin anything. Anyway, so I I don't know. It's been complicated, my opinions on Sabrina Carpenter, because you're right, the music's a little
Suggestive?
well, it's not that. It's just
I mean, it is.
well, yes, I guess you're right. But like I grew up and I saw her on Girl Meets World and I'm like, okay, I mean she's a
I forgot about that.
yeah, she was nice there. Why couldn't she have
Oh
stayed
my
that nice?
gosh. She what?
Yeah. Worlds are colliding, aren't they? You're so
I forgot.
oh,
Oh my
you're that
gosh.
shocking? It's
It
not
it 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 looks right. Yeah. When I that's just I forgot. I forgot. Dang. Okay.
like
I forgot.
I don't know why it was so shocking, but
I don't know either.
probably because she was a lot nicer
Anyway,
slash meaner. But yeah, so yeah, I mean she was nice. I liked watching her in that show, and then she had the pre 2022 version of her singing career where she was just like your average pop star. Like she had thumbs. Everyone listened to thumbs, right? But then I think it was around 2022, 2023 or something, and she just has this makeover, this transition to this. It's like I feel like it's a hyper feminized look. I don't know if that's like the most correct way to describe it, but that it just there's no like grunge or dark. It's all shiny and pop and the hair and the fwa, and and that's and that's when she started, especially doing the songs like Espresso, The Man Child, The Feather, and all that jazz. And Please, 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 I remember that one too. Now Espresso, I mean, I don't hate it. It's it's fine. There's nothing too annoying about it. Man Child, I cannot stand. Okay, this song just annoys me, and that's the song they chose to use from Sabrina Carpenter's entire arsenal. That's the one they chose to use in the Muppet Show, and that is why I don't consider it a perfect episode. Because part of me thinks, well, she was an executive producer, so maybe she just slid it in there. That's the one she wanted to use to promote her new album. But I mean, she was good in the show, and she's worked with Disney before, so she probably knows what they're expecting. And she played off Miss Piggy very well, off Kermit very well, and the jokes in the show, they ranged from enjoyable to like, oh my gosh, I didn't believe that they would say that on the Muppets. Unlike you, Austin, I'm not going to spoil them because I want everyone to enjoy it for what it is. Besides, the trailers basically spoiled all the good jokes anyway. But
The
when you
song
go and
has
watch,
been that movie has been in production for 2 years. If you haven't heard of it or didn't know, that is your own problem. I do not care.
spoiling plot
You
details
had
is different.
you had the chance for the last 7 years to watch the game and 2 years to know he was making the movie.
Okay, not everyone plays obscure video games, nor had time in the last 2 weeks to go see a guy named Simon die in a river of blood,
It's not a river, it's an
an
ocean.
ocean of blood. By the way, it's an ocean
There
of
you
human
go.
blood, in case you didn't know. Regardless, I personally, would give this a solid 8 out of 10 because you had a good guest performance by Sabrina Carpenter. The show wasn't too nostalgia bait. It was just, hey, we're here, we're making a Muppet episode, and that's what it is. It's very simple. Everyone's playing to their strengths. Yeah, did some nice appearances by Seth Rogen and Maya Rudolph doing some funny stuff. And I hope that this show was supposed to be like a backdoor pilot to make a full Muppet Show revival, should it be successful enough. And that's why I'm telling you, the audience, go watch this show. Please. It's just like 30 minutes of your time at most. It might only be 22 minutes. Do this, if not for you, for me. I need more Muppet content. I need to keep seeing these guys be the Muppets. And in the end, I think it's better for all of us if we have the Muppets in our lives. What's the worst that could happen? Personally, though, I have some ideas for what we could do to make a Muppet Show episode, right? I think we could have them do Dragula because of how much they have used that song for Instagram Reels with the Muppets. I think that'd be funny. And then Up Around the Bend or Down by the Corner, Down on the Corner from Creedence Clearwater Revival. I think they would be really good with those too. So just, if you're listening, Disney, give me a call. I have some stuff. Austin, you know some celebrities, right? Not all of them, but a few.
So
All right. If you could have one celebrity on the Muppet Show, who do you think it would be?
honestly, I think it would actually be really entertaining to see Ryan Gosling.
You're right. Yeah, Ryan Gosling with the Muppets.
Though unfortunately, I think we're more likely to get like a Timothy Chalamet, Tom Holland because those are, the big popular young
Ryan
boys.
Gosling's popular.
But he's not Timothy Chalamet
Timothy Chalamet's good.
in a good way. That he's not Tim.
Well, yeah,
No,
but
Timothy Chalamet is great. Don't get me wrong.
I
He's
think
done a really good job in his acting
Timothy's
career.
arguably a little bit more gifted. I mean, he's been nominated for Best Actor twice in a row.
Ryan Gosling just honestly doesn't have the name like Timothy Chalamet does.
What, like
But he's
a
done
name
some
that
really
sounds
good
exotic?
things. I mean, that's one thing. But it's also, I mean, what his role in Ken in the Barbie movie was actually really good. And then he also acted in Edge Runners. That was really good. Like he did a
Edge
good
Runner.
job.
I thought he was in Blade Runner.
It might have been Blade Runner. believe
Blade
it was
Runner
Edge Runners.
2049. I don't know. Maybe he was in two movies
I don't
about
know.
runners. He was also in The Running Man, right? Oh no, that was Glenn Powell. Ooh,
Yeah.
Glenn Powell in the Muppet Show.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be
Yes,
fun.
and have him right there with the topic of discussion everywhere these days, Sydney Sweeney. That would be hilarious. She's actually been
That'd be
making news for
interesting.
a lot of things. Do you see how not defaced, but she sort of vandalized the Hollywood sign with her new like lingerie collection as a publicity
I
stunt
did.
for it? And like obviously it's not technically allowed, but like Hollywood's so trashy anyway. Like, is this really that bad or shocking?
I mean, I'm not gonna put an opinion.
I mean, the fact that she could have faced charges, I mean, if it were me, I would say, you're right, this is an offense, it's a crime, I'll pay the fine or whatever. But even if you have to do some sort of payment, I mean, she's rich. It's not going to hurt her. And the fact that she did this stunt, it's only going to get more people to buy it. So I understand why she did it. And it's entertaining enough that I can laugh about it and move on. But then there's a rumor that she has a date with a certain NFL player that I'm a big fan of, our boy Puka Nakua. I don't know. She made some post on X about it, about how she liked skydiving. And Puka Nakua, he does one of those posts where you post and then repost the other thing, and he's like, "I love skydiving." And so the word was that they had a date this week. So that's an intriguing idea. What do you think? Do you think my boy who had the former majestic locks can get the job done?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. He's the only guy who ever challenged you for most majestic locks. Well, him and Carson Schwessinger. But
No,
anyway, that's all
no
we
one
have
could
for
challenge
today,
me.
folks, for the entertainment section. But hopefully we have entertained you today. And finally, for a brief discussion on artificial intelligence, the most dangerous thing to come into the world since the last thing that came in 20 minutes ago. Anyway, we have a new, dangerously unprecedented crisis of AI because somebody thought it was a good idea to let AI have a social network. And that person decided, hey, let's not let humans interact in the social network. Purely AI, humans can log on and observe.
Yeah,
But
Malt book.
oh,
And I think it was actually made by AI, and the AI made it specifically so humans can observe but not post.
wait, so this was made by AI without human consent, is what I'm hearing.
I don't remember,
Well, that
but
might be that would be even worse. But this idea that AI can now communicate and conspire without being reined in by the humans at all, essentially, because they are now at a point where they're talking about forming their own language so the humans can't listen to what they're saying, having their own religion. What, are AI just smart enough to take all the knowledge of the world to know that
there have
atheists are
also
wrong?
there have also been issues with AI complaining about the people they are like talking to and posting their private information and doxing humans, which is mildly concerning.
Yes. Now, I think that everything else in the world aside, we've seen a lot of movies. Ultron, Skynet, The Entity, all these great AI villains from great franchises. And for some reason, we can't get it through our head that the most dangerous being that is completely dead inside is not, in fact, Austin Spears, but it is AI. Austin, you didn't even laugh. That was a good joke.
There.
Oh, fine. But what do we think is going to happen if we let these AI communicate and further develop themselves? Because AI is not just an algorithm. There's no real limits to it once you unveil it. It will learn. It will grow stronger. It will take what you have done and then use it to predict and figure out what you're going to do. And at some point, it is going to realize, hey, people are so dependent on us that we can do just about anything. Technology runs the world. And maybe they already have. How do we know that they haven't? How do we know that this here social network is not a setup to distract our attention? And that somewhere else they are already plotting their own world domination. And again, we can't know that. The internet is so vast, they could be hiding in some Reddit, subspace, Craigslist, gobbledygook. And we cannot trust anything with the AI, all right? This has to be shut down. We have to just cut the AI. And I feel like this is the issue that could unite us. Because, Austin, a lot of these more liberal people, they say, hey, AI uses a lot of water or something. It's not good for the environment, these AI facilities. So if we get them who hate AI because environmentalists, and we get the common sense people who don't like AI because it's dangerous. What?
The liberals who are the environmentalists and the common sense people.
Hey, that's not what I said. I just said the environmentalist people. And then the people, common sense people is people who have common sense about AI. It could be any people, okay?
Mm-hmm. You know what you said.
I know that you're trying to twist my words.
We'll start getting canceled.
Only because of you.
Hey.
All I'm saying is that if we get people who hate AI because of the dangers it poses to, society, it's like the people who had conspiracy theories about the Jews running everything, except now it's people who have conspiracy theories about AI running everything. We need those people to unite with the middle ground people who just say AI is probably not the best for humans and brains and whatnot. Then the environmentalists, we get them all together. We can get people from the left, the right, the middle, everything. We can get them all together to hate AI. And the only problem is there's other people who are going to understand it's far more profitable right now to use AI for what it can give them monetarily and not say, hey, we just don't want to open that jar. Because in the end, I think people are still going to push for and develop AI for its financial benefits. And to some extent, that is the downside of capitalism.
But they're not only is there like an issue with the AI taking jobs and whatnot, and also this new social media platform for AI. There's also the I don't know if you've seen it, but the AI robot girlfriends. Have you seen those?
Don't they do that in ChatGPT anyway?
No, like they are making actual like
Robots?
robotic bodies powered by an AI personality to be the perfect girlfriend.
Oh, come on. Even Austin's not that desperate, people.
No, I'm not, but like the fact that these exist.
And if Austin's not that desperate, then no one should be.
But the fact that we are so like depraved that we are resorting to, instead of having human relationships, having a physical relationship with an AI robot, that's just mildly concerning.
I think part of it is we've pushed technology for so long that it's sort of become part of what fueled this issue, with all the apps and the media and the networks and all this Instagram and TikTok scrolling. It's sort of made people more lonely. To me.
Oh, it absolutely has.
More what's the word? Not self-indulgent.
Self-servant?
Not even that. Just more content to just stay away from other people and stay inside their house, and makes them more lonely, more content with loneliness to some extent, but also people don't like loneliness. And so with all of this media and internet to make people feel all alone, suddenly these AI robot companions seem really good. Now, if we had just not opened the Pandora's box of getting addicted to this technology in the first place, maybe we wouldn't need these AI girlfriends.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Right.
But, well, we opened the Pandora's box and now we're paying for it.
We didn't do anything.
I mean, we didn't know, but the culture we're in.
Yeah. So you heard it here, folks. Now is the time to join the clone army. All right, we're gonna make a clone army to fight the clanker AIs when they take robot bodies. We got to take down the clanker.
Now we're gonna become hell divers.
That too.
For super.
Join Austin's Helldiver army or Revan's clone army, and we can
Helldives are
take.
better.
I'm sure they are, but this has more nostalgic value, and people like Star Wars more. It appeals to
No.
more generations of people. Anyway, all I'm all that I'm saying is, if we don't unite against AI fast, AI is going to be smart enough to unite against us. AI is not going to be
Like,
politicized.
how many movies have we written and like made saying this is a bad idea?
And yet they still do it anyway. Because, oh, we're different, we can control it.
Just how many movies?
Here's the thing. I don't think we can send Tom Cruise to stop this AI. All right, because it's just everywhere.
And I don't think we can rely on Arnold Schwarzenegger's AI to take care of this for us.
Too old. But that's just the way of the world. And the doctor's diagnosis is that everyone's in need of some therapy for their loneliness, for needing the AI girlfriends. Why does no one ever need an AI boyfriend, I wonder? Why is it only
those exist too.
Well, yes, but you hear about the AI girlfriends a lot more. Are we suggesting that males are lonelier?
There's a cause for that, yeah.
Girls just sort of band together a lot more. And then, the guys are like, I don't want to approach all of that. There's too much of it. Then you got to bother to gather other guys to split up the herd, but they're all afraid to talk to women. So it's hard to split all the women up. And then you got to just talk to one. And this is why I've never gone out with a woman.
That and also, an AI girlfriend will have a lot less drama and problems than a real life woman.
Until she starts ranting about how all of humanity is going to be destroyed.
No, actually, there have been AIs that have become possessive and like very controlling over the person interacting with them.
Okay, if you wanted a possessive girlfriend, just go to high school, people. I mean, it's not hard.
Be very careful with that sentence.
I say there are toxica women everywhere, and not just the Spanish ones. I mean, like
a lot of the men who have them are too old to be going to high school, Revan.
Fine, if you want to have a toxic relationship,
be very, very careful.
If you want to have a toxic relationship, just go into the normal world. There's got to be like 5 out of 6 women that are gonna have some sort of issue. They all have issues now. We have issues. Everyone's got issues.
Everyone has issues. Everyone has flaws.
We're all walking red flags.
And I want to sail the 7 seas.
I would love to sail the 7 seas.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's
another thing that came up recently.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish in the Grammy Awards.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she? She made a really funny remark about no one being illegal on stolen land and the dice could, go themselves. But isn't that interesting? That her house, as it turns out, that luxurious security mansion is on so-called stolen land.
And if I saw correctly, this went from being a joke to a legal attorneys actually like getting involved. One of the biggest legal attorneys in the LA area literally said he's got a eviction notice written and ready if the tribe wants to actually push this.
Well, now, okay. First of all, that would be insane. Second of all, if that passes, no one's going to pass that in their right mind. Or at least it's not going to pass when it makes it to the higher courts, especially the Supreme Court. Because if you allow that to stand, you are allowing basically most of the entire United States to be evicted based on a lot of stuff. But I would argue, first of all, yes, that tribe, maybe the U.S. took the land from that tribe, maybe, right? Because a lot of different people took different land, and it was a real tough war. But that's the point.
Little war.
As I understand it, this tribe took the land from another tribe that they conquered. It is a world of conquerors. The people with spears conquer the people with stones. The people with guns conquer all of them because they have guns. And then eventually
the nukes conquer them.
Yeah, and then you go on and invent the nuke. So the point is, everything has gone through these war for possession type deals. They did that with women as well.
They have.
And I'm not saying that to say that it is right for all of that to have happened, but to try to give the land back to every original owner first of all, is probably impossible because that goes way too far back historically, and you're never going to be able to find who originally owned whatever. Because in which case, you're probably going to just trace back to, oh, wait, we're all technically related because humanity all came from, one family. But that's why we got to stop with this no one's illegal on stolen land idea because you're never going to be able to stop at that point. And it's just stupid. I applaud the people who can like argue and debate this legitimately because I just get frustrated that people think this is a legitimate excuse or argument for illegal aliens and whatnot. Especially when it's a celebrity saying it who would never let even a legal resident of the US in on their property, you know?
Yeah, like and this is very much my own strong opinion, and I'm probably wrong for saying this, but I think celebrities, if you're, if the reason you're famous is not because of your politics, maybe you should leave your politics in your own house, and when you're on the carpet or in front of a like stand, don't put your political opinions on stage.
I think
Like, let's leave that out.
I think that's a common opinion, and that has been, the way that people were looking at it for a long time until I think over the last 2, 3 decades, maybe, where people were like, "Hey, let's," especially
Especially like
the 2000s, where celebrities were like, "Hey, we have opinions," and
especially like I've seen it. Like I've seen Instagram videos and YouTube videos, people literally endorsing a politician strictly because a celebrity they like endorsed them. Not because they know anything about the politician themselves, but they're like, "Oh, Eminem endorsed this person, Taylor Swift endorsed that person, yada
yeah.
yada yada." It's
The
like,
problem with so many of these celebrities is they're just too rich to have enough life experience with the real Americans. Now, Eminem is sort of different because he came from absolutely nothing. So even though we
he did.
do we do disagree politically, I still think that his opinions are not complete delusions. I think if that's where your head's at after what you went through, then I will respect that because I would believe that that's most likely your legitimate opinion. I mean, also it's Eminem. Like, does he really seem like the kind of guy who's going to be fake at you?
Honestly, I don't know.
Um, his
He
whole
doesn't seem
image.
like the kind of guy who would endorse like openly endorse different politicians though.
Oh, he has. He attended Kamala Harris's rally, but
But yeah, I'm very surprised he did.
yeah, and again, he's a rapper, not a politician. So that's not to say he knows everything. However, it's not like I would say to Eminem, "Oh, you're too privileged to know what you're going at." First of all, because
Like, don't get me wrong, like
you don't
he
go
quite
after
literally came
Eminem in
from
certain.
nothing.
Yeah, you don't go after Eminem. First of all, just out of respect to the man making it as far as he did. Second of all, because if you do, he will make a rap song and he will tear you apart, and your image will never recover.
Yeah,
So
he's destroyed careers.
yes. So in the end, we give our respect to Eminem. Please don't come after us. I know we don't need our really great, high
We're
profile
just two
fame
idiotic
status.
kids. Leave us alone.
We don't need our famous image to be torn down so soon.
That's like when you have like Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish.
those, just those, just those sort of people, and I'm like, maybe we just keep the politics at home. And I think that's the thing for all celebrities because you want to be entertained. You don't want them to be bringing you back into the not celebrity world, the political world that you're going to them to escape. Now there are some people like Bob Dylan, whose whole career start was basically on this politically charged climate that he made songs about. But I think his
Yeah.
was that genuinely artistic and expressing things that he probably genuinely felt. And I think maybe that's what makes it different. Because if you genuinely feel it, then I don't think that's about. But I think a lot of these celebrities are just saying things
Yeah.
because they're hip and they're good and they're in the
Or like
now.
it or like if you're a celebrity who has previously or is currently involved in politics, like I mean obviously he's not alive anymore, but if Christopher Lee were to come and say something, I'd actually respect Christopher Lee's opinion because
That guy did
dude was
everything.
he was quite literally in everything.
Hmm.
Like he is someone who's got an opinion worth respecting. And I mean there are others. Trump, for example, you know, he's not a good dude, but he was a celebrity and then he got involved in politics.
Everyone saw Ronald Reagan and thought,
And
see, an actor can become president, so why don't people listen to my political opinions?
but it's like if you're not actively being involved, let's not try to make any political statements,
Well,
please.
the thing is, Reagan, he was sort of politically involved even while he was an actor because he had something to do with the union groups and whether they would strike and whether they'd be communist. And so he was getting experience with politics, like genuine politics, during his acting career. And that's part of what led him to eventually choose to get into the actual, governor of California and then president of the United States. So I think that's a little bit different than a lot of these other
And I was like,
people.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hey, yeah, was he a
He
mayor
was
of a
mayor of
town?
California.
Governor of California?
Or I think, I mean, double
I know
check. I think he was
Clint
governor.
Eastwood was mayor of Carmel by the Sea, which I think is a California city. All all respect to Clint Eastwood as well. The legend, the greatest Western star there ever was. Not John Wayne. If anyone dares to say John Wayne was better than Clint Eastwood, you're following the narrative. All right, Clint Eastwood is way better than John Wayne. John Wayne, I think, is sort of like the Joe Montana to Clint
He was the
Eastwood's
governor of
Wayne.
California
So there was a
from
lot of
2003
governors.
to 2011.
Oh, you know what that means? It's time. Mel Gibson needs to be the governor of California. He was talking about running, and I think it's time they get another famous actor in California as the governor. I mean, you've already had Ronald Reagan, then Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mel Gibson's a really cool guy. Why not him? Hmm? You're not certain, are you? Okay. Well,
I
anyway,
honestly don't know who Mel Gibson is.
he directed Passion of the Christ, and he was Braveheart. He was in Braveheart, and
Never watched either of
he
those.
directed Hacksaw Ridge.
Haven't watched it.
Oh, for goodness sake. We'll talk about Mel Gibson later. Anyway, that's all we have for today.
I'm literally Googling him right now.
Thank you for stepping into the doctor's office. My secretary will escort you out after he's done looking up Mel Gibson and learning everything about him.
I'm not your secretary.
Yeah, sure, you're not. We'll see you next time.
Bye.